follow is a presentation of MRE UNO, Division 1. On the dance floors back in May, a certain aura blessed to the floor. And for Cap and Myth, no love is lost on a day for love. Let's start with those beamy eyes they call the captain of the seven seas. He took care of business against Rogers. Low tide crunch, low tide luck and all, he's back. He lost 10 in a row entering 2025, but he picked out 4 of his last 5 on Rogers. But he knows this match is a little bit different. There's 2 ways a rematch can go. Either you won the first time and you look to make the claim, or you're looking for vengeance. And for Cap, don't let those eyes deceive you, because vengeance is on his mind. And for the man they call the myth and maybe the legend today, he's going up against the legendary player. Cap's in the Legends class for a reason. And Myth, he's been a staple. Only 9 players have touched this floor 11 times in the regular season. Only 9 OGs remain from the first ever tournament. Can Myth do it again on Cap after he had a big Tournament 2 win last year? Can lightning strike twice for the Myth? Well, we're about to find out. Hello everybody and welcome to Cap Myth, the sequel. Round 2 of this matchup. We saw this back in Masquerade May. Only difference was Cap just got off the 7 Seas horse back in April. We'll see what happens in March. We go from the dance floor to the hardware. How will it turn out for round 2? Let's go to that schedule. Something new. I want to thank Short for doing a little bit of this cool schedule work. Decided to put the cards to match the players. As I said, HufflePuff kickoff game of the round 32. We Captain versus Myth. We'll stream that very shortly here at 1:30. And then tonight, the nightcap, Gryffindor region, Chomik Retro. Big win for Chomik over MGR. Huge win for Retro over Lamas. Something's got to give between those two. That Gryffindor region has been a region full of upsets. Retro looking to continue to that. Chomik looking to potentially put himself into another Sweet 16 back in March. We'll find out a little bit later. Now, of course, there is no reveal graphic. We'll go to the pod as we are into the second round. How did we get here? Well, Captain took care of A. Rogers 4-1 pretty easily, convincingly on the low-tier stuff. Where Myth had to really fight it off last Friday afternoon, right around this time, a little bit early around noon. He was playing a Game 7 with Radin. And for Myth, he took care of business, but it was closer than people think. Ghost and Yoshi will ironically be the bottom half of this bracket, which is a rematch as well from that same Masquerade May tournament. This is the rematch pod, as I like to call it. Ghost taking care of Gone 4-2, and Yoshi taking care of Gerard, respectively, in 6 and 7 games. That's it for me, though. Let's get to the scene. Joining me in the booth will be Vapor, making his 2025 debut on the commentary table and booth. Of course, he was out the first round. It's good to have him back. Players, of course, Cap and Myth in here. We got Christian Tago back at it again, reffing, making his second or third ref appearance. I believe second. I think he did do one non-stream, but second on his stream. We'll go to Vapor here. Vapor, you've been a part of this league for a while now. You've been a part of the lore of rematches. You've been a part of everything and anything. These guys know each other. We know mid-tier and low-tier card starts is what expected. But there is one advantage Myth has. He's seen this opponent, right? He knows what Cap can do. He understands Cap's playbook. But it's a new bot. It's not off Cap. It's not all Caps, as I call it, off a tournament win for Cap. He's fired up and ready to go from a pretty convincing win versus Rogers, whereas Myth had to scrap through Radin. How do you think the endurance battle is going to play out today? We know these matches can go quick, but if it gets into an endurance battle, who do you think has the advantage in this dance for the hardware matchup?
I'm telling you, if anyone has the capability to be captain inside the HufflePuff region, it's going to be Myth, and it's going to be right here, right now. You see, Myth, already, as you said, has the advantage of playing captain in the past. He has a little bit of familiarity with his play style here in MRE. Sure, we might have played captain over in other leagues, but here in MRE, in this particular matchup, in the region, Myth is the only one who really has any sort of experience against captain. So, since even though it was dominant by captain last year, I think it's going to change this time around. I think Myth is going to give captain a good fight.
Well, actually, Myth won the first time around, but the only difference was Cap had came off a tournament win, April Aquatic, and sometimes when you win that
Oh,
tournament,
excuse me. I was thinking of the April tournament where he swept a bunch of people.
oh yeah,
Line
yeah,
ball.
you're good, yeah, that was Pete Cap, man, and we knew that format coming in was going to give him an advantage. You got an April theme where it says aquatic, anything with the water, and captain of the seven seas. It was good for him. Now, we'll go into Christian Tago's thoughts. Tyler, your thoughts on this game, man? Feel free to type them out. Obviously, I know you're the rep, but just want to get your initial thoughts. We'll go to Cap here. Cap, obviously, welcome back, man. You definitely have turned the page. A new chapter has arisen in 2025. We know 2024 ended pretty prematurely after a tough loss to JT and got swept by Allen in a third-place game and lost to Tago, the 10 in a row losing streak. You've turned it back around. You're back. You seem fresh. You seem revived. What was that break, man, like in terms? I remember I wasn't the first one to stream your game. You were with JT. But what was it like, man, getting the engine warm again, getting back to the style that we know and love here in the league, power play back in the table, and now you're playing Myth. Did you learn anything from Myth, or do you think it's just too hard to know considering 1A, most importantly, you had tournament win the rest of the season last year was about just playing for a 1 seed overall in the Super League, and 2 was the old bot. Do you think that matters in the sense that it's a fresh slate because those two things matter and you can't really go off of past notes? Feel free to type it out, my friend. Thoughts on the engine getting warm as well. And for Myth, you've obviously have seen Cap. You had the advance. It was the old bot. However, at the same time, we do have to keep in mind, you guys both play low tier, upper mid tier, maybe once in a while more mid tier. We expect a 5 to 10 card shootout today. How do you try to get an advantage in terms of the creativity on looks, knowing that you're in this box of 5-10 cards? Feel free. What's made the difference this year in your gameplay so far on that 5 to 10 cards where you're lethal? And while Myth answers that, we'll see what Cap types. Go for it.
All right. All right. So with the 5-10 cards, I'm just like focus on going with the flow and like getting used to like the new bot because it's like the first tournament using the new bot. Oh wait, second time. But yeah, it's just a matter of who has the better cards, who uses the cards better, and that's about it.
Simple, short, sweet, to the point. We'll go to Vapor back here again. Vape, obviously, you heard what Mitch said right there. He's going to go with the flow. That's usually what he does on 7 cards, 8 cards, 9, 10, 5, 6. It's kind of how you have to play. There's 2 ways it can go. But as I said, there is that one endurance battle. Because we can have high luck games on 5, doesn't mean we don't get an endurance battle or time or 2. Do you think the person who wins that first endurance battle, let's say a game that goes over 6+, will have a slight advantage mentally, knowing that we haven't seen much of an endurance battle on this bot with 5 to 10? We see it once in a while, but it's very rare to see back-to-back or even 3 games in a row on 5-10 card starts go over 6 minutes.
Oh yeah, definitely. Because, like you said, because we know that these games aren't going to last very long on average, because they like to play that low tier, upper low, mid tier. It's going to come down to who can win those 1 or 2 games that go longer than 5+, 6+ minutes. And you might think, hey, whoever wins Draw City is going to win because of luck. No, not with these two. Whoever's going to win Draw City is going to outwit the other and be able to come away with a skillful win. I don't think this series is going to be all luck, even though it's all low start.
Well, we'll see who plays the best chess and not checkers on the old table today. I'm ready to finally beat Mitch, says Cap, with a little bit of some vengeance on the mind. I'm more motivated than I was at the end of the season last year. I want to start the year with a title. Cap's ready. The guns are out. We'll see if he can bring the gun show to the fight on the shores of Latvia. It's Latvia versus Florida. The Floridian shores versus the Latvian shores. What better way to start it off here on Valentine's Day at 1:30 with my man Christian Tago initializing the game. Cap is the home team. It's best of 7. It's 1 power play. It's 2-2, 1-1, 1. And winning lottery numbers are double dose, trips uno. we'll see how it goes today. Reminder, 5 to 15 for the fans at home. The winner of this game, we could see Cap Yoshi. We could see Cap versus Ghost. We could see Yoshi versus Mid, Yoshi versus Cat. There's a lot of possibilities, but a lot of rematches are presented in this one pod, as we said off the top. There it is, best of 7. The TI's in. One power play come from Christian Tago. And now it's time for those most famous words in Uno. Cap, welcome back. First KT stream of the year, but you haven't been used to this environment before in a minute with me saying those most famous words. So I'm going to ask, how many cards for game 1, my friend? Let's kick it off right. What do we got? We're going to go up a tier. You know what, Vapor? That's a little shocking. Not too shocking, but a little bit for Cap. We saw this in the JT game as I did my homework. He did go with 9 here. Best of luck. We started off with popping bottles in the ice. Getting slizzard. Right, Vapor? G6, baby. All right. We'll start it off with a quick switch.
You really need a soundboard for that G6.
We got to get one, man. I'm telling you. But we got to get one. But real quick, Vapor, you see the aggression right here off the bat. That's quick from Cap. Quick early switch, trying to set the momentum. Oh, he does it again.
Could be exposing some slight vulnerabilities or just playing out of his mind, switching already, which is to be expected.
Ooh,
and there's some more aggression.
Yeah, we'll see you and Toaster Guy tomorrow. That's going to be a crack show, no pun intended. Should be a good one. But that's interesting, Vape, because here's the thing. This is a vulnerability, or is it? Can Myth draw Captain into a reverse switch bait? Let's see. Here comes Cap. He'll run it cool in a DJ.
Definitely no. Not with the experience that Captain has. No way.
Cap's very experienced. But the Myth's going to go to JT, and now everyone's got vulnerabilities all over the board. Here comes Cap again, looking to fire in. Yeah, go for it, Vapor.
I was just going to say it works out for Myth, the debate.
Yeah, worked out indeed. We'll go to Knob now from lane. Now Cap's starting to run it down. Only a minute into this game. We talked about the fireworks explosion on offense in this game, and they're both exploding so far in the colors, not so much on action cards. Myth now have to readjust back to the red, but it looks like Cap was for ISO mode. Yep. Vulnerabilities abound to
Good
appear.
ISO play by Captain.
Absolutely, my friend.
I mean, even if he draws here, he equalizes it.
Yep.
Puts himself, yeah.
Yep. Going to draw city.
Puts
See what
himself
you get.
firmly in a position to.
We always talk about Uno, man, with the top decks, and the top deck luck could matter here because now Cap has a chance to switch it if he wants, and maybe get a run. Here you go. He's going to type up something here. Cap playing a little of that pace. Let's see what he gets. He got the top deck, and that's going to be a huge one.
Does this win?
Cap looking for the win here. He goes for a triple, looking for a quad, or is it night?
Six-bagger?
No. So Cap gives a chance for Myth to fire back. Interesting, Vapor. Does not go for the finish.
I mean, +6 had to have given him something, at least.
Either something
We'll see what Myth has to.
Yep, either that or he's going to try an isolation, but it's Myth. I think he'll go for something here to isolate this game back to a neutralizer. Here he comes, loading up. Myth looking to load up here. Let's see what he can do. Taking his time. He's going to go for that neutralizer, but this time with the color isolation. Is it for heaven for Cap? We've been on this situation before, me and Vapor. No. No for this time. Myth now can run the reds. Up the background. Cap drawing down. That's interesting, Vapor. Cap no finish. Vulnerabilities up the wazoo, but he might get a break right here. Myth decides to make the break to Chami. We'll see him tonight, 8 o'clock sharp. Cap can run it. Into a plant. Tough heartbreaker from a plant. Blue 3-0. Myth now running back. Taking his time. Loading up. Goes for the +2. Interesting. That's interesting, Vapor. Myth forced himself into a dead end. That's interesting.
I guess maybe he was thinking the Captain didn't have it. But he did, and now Myth is in a precarious situation. Switch.
It's out of it now. The question becomes, he's going to get a break. Wow, so Cap really leaning towards that Cap green, ironically. Into the yellow 4 for Myth and Cap's ass. So now, both guys seems to have weathered the storm, both of them. And as we go into Draw City a little bit from Cap, but Myth can still run the yellows. The storm's been weathered. Now, just as I said, there's the Cap green. He needs it. At mid-set, now Cap can run. Back and forth, the pendulum swings, Vapor. Cap, double play, back to Chomik, in from Goldie to Chomik now. Can Myth get some top decker number of fish? No. Cap driving again in the red zone. Can he finish it off this time? Loved the green earlier. Does he continue? Cap loading up, anticipating. Still looking for that fish. There it is. Just like that, blink of the eye. Cap safe for +4. Yes, sir. Go for it.
I was just going to say, that's Captain, man. Get onto his color and +4 you to death. That's what it'll do.
Yeah, 1 +4. Pretty clean game on ammo. We'll go to Cap here. Cap, really good job, man. Did I hit a nail on the head? Did you really need to fade the green? Were you fading that green to the end? Just start off with that. Was that the ultimate play, fade the green, use that as a lock and key combo from that +6 you gave earlier, drive to Uno? Let me know about that before we move on to the next question here. And then my second question after the answer to that is, it was a low ammo game on a somewhat mid-tier start, right? Because at a certain point you start to think, okay, when is the moment crescendo? Talk to me about how you were able to feel out the crescendo moment, because not a lot of players have that 5 to 9 crescendo moment. They know when to feel it. You know how to feel it out. Was it the fact that he drew that red reverse that allowed you to save on the back end and almost force the switches that gave you that crescendo moment to use that +6 and feel confident? Or did you feel saying, hey, you know what? I understand right now he's in a vulnerability spot with the colors. Let him burn up some of that ammo and then catch you in the end with a +4 back pocket ace of spades on the sleeve. We'll go to Myth. Myth, pretty interesting game. I have to ask 2 questions. The first one, you put yourself in 2 dead ends. You started with the red reverse draw. You were maybe trying to go for a switch over to maybe catch Cap with his pants down. But the green +2 into a draw, you put yourself into that dead end. What was the theory behind putting yourself in the dead? Were you trying to get a little bit of delta on the cards to put him back a little bit and prevent a finish? Or do you think maybe you overcompensated a little bit because he could have got a +4 off that +2? Let me know that thought right there. Go for it.
I tried using +2. I was like, I want to stop Captain from the finish, but I also want to take the risk and also get more ammo as well, because I didn't really have much control of my cards, and I think that was a bit of an issue on my end that game. I couldn't really have much of control, like how the game was going, with the colors and all that. So I was hoping to get more cards that can be used for control.
Well, and that's the thing, Vapor. He just mentioned it. We saw this with William Brock versus Jenna. It's the ability to have control of the game versus playing this eco mode that Jenna really seemed to find with the low ammo. And this game, very similar in a sense that, hey, we're not going to see much ammo. How you control the colors matter. Do you think Myth has to make an adjustment to Cap trying to play more the stealth mode? Because you mentioned it. That's Cap. +4 finish. See you, night-night.
I think more than anything, Myth's going to have to play defense this series. I think Captain is just an offensive phenom, and Myth's really going to have to do stuff to get switches back to their own color and really utilize those +2s to their advantage.
Cap said numbers came to fruition. The color switches were on time, basically. Little top deck Kevin on that +4. Ammo save, boom. Got Myth in a pinch, and that's all she wrote. It says the Captain of the 7 Seas. Quick game. Talked about this game going over 6 minutes. Could be a moment within a moment in the series. We've yet to see that. That was under 5 minutes. Big win for Captain there. We'll go into game 2. Tiger the ref as always. All right. Cap, no 9, my friend, for the rest of the series. Free choice. What do we got for game number 2? What are we going to do? We sticking with this mid to low tier? What we got? Oh, okay. Cap throws a little bit of a wrench in the plan. We'll go double OG on Valentine's Day with the 14. Started off with the yellow skip. I think the car may have not came up there. That's all right. Well, that's interesting, Vapor, as we go into drip here. Cap going a little bit higher, testing the waters on a little bit more of creativity. You think both guys are neutralized because of this? We don't see either player really venture that high until it's a game 7 or some clutch moment. We'll see how they both attack as Cap, once again, same thing as game 1, becomes the first guy to switch.
I think what we're looking at from Cap is trying to throw Myth off of his preparation. I don't think Captain sees much difference between a low card start and a high card start when it comes to numbers. So I think really what it's doing is trying to throw Myth off of his base and try to get Captain a little bit of an advantage.
Yeah, the old base, right? The old base setting. And both guys have base settings they go to. The question is, how do you throw the other player off? That's one way to do it. that 14 cards, it makes you stop and think and say, hey, how creative I have to be now? Because when you're at 14 cards, there's a lot of end arounds and a lot more creativity that comes into play versus a 6, 7, or even a 9 card start, for sure. Both running the yellows now, as Myth will become the first guy in this game, individual one, to go for a double play, as Cap's out early. Cap was the first guy to make that aggressive switch to green. Does Myth switch it himself? He does, and he's back to the Cap green and the Cap card. Cap seemed to like the greens earlier, though. Does he continue? He does. One up this time to LaPlante from his own card. Myth looking to roll into this more. Does he have a possible +2 save on the greens? Does he go for a little bit of a heat check right here? Let's find out. Myth running and rolling. Takes his time. Goes for another switch, and Vapor, the aggression is there because we're just missing that ice cold blue, which you love and know, for that Pandora's. Into Night Walker now. Myth looking to load up again on the red. He was the first one initiating. There's the +2 I was saying, so it's coming somewhere. And now this gives Cap 2 freshies and a little bit more room to work with. 2 minutes in, the pace is electric, as it always is in these Cap mid-series.
And we still have yet to see blue so far, so you really got to be thinking, one of these guys might have some blue loaded up.
Yep, it's all about the timing of the runs, timing of the efficiency on when to switch that ice cold. Here comes Myth looking for a little double +2 action, looking for a triple. There's the blue. There's the ice cold in the KT, but the question is +6 though. Just about to say, that's going to give a lot of ammo to Cap. Go ahead, Vapor.
I was just going to say, yeah, +6. Got to give Captain something, even if it's not a plus card. Maybe it's wild to switch it off of blue. Something like that.
Myth obviously not expect. There it is. +2 keeps it alive. Not caring so much about the power play. Could have won it there, but decides to save it. Not the worst call, for sure. Still early. Now Cap looking to possibly gain momentum back. He puts the blue as a vulnerability here for Myth. Now that he got the +2, Myth can't do anything. That's big for Cap right there, Vapor. Just that little +2. It throws a wrench into the plan. A little 1-2 jab, and now Cap with some momentum, but he's going to give Myth a chance here as he goes into red. Cap makes the early break into red. Myth seemed to be vulnerable on the blue. Did Cap try to prevent Draw City? Myth looking to go back to check, this time on red. He can't. So now green and yellow becomes in the back of your mind here if you're captain here, Vapor, because now you're confident in the blue and red. The question is, do you have some power cards in that green and yellow from earlier that you saved up that could trip Myth at the end of the finish line? Cap now looking to run. Into Night Walker we go. Cap loading up, taking his time. Looks to find a little more rhythm. Really taking his time. Could be a big run. R joins us.
Could be something, yeah.
It's good to see
Definitely.
Yes, sir.
I'm thinking maybe from Captain's game, trying to get into that yellow, yeah.
Huge play. We just talked about saving it up. Yep.
All of a sudden, it's 5-4. Or 4.
Yeah, we're tied now. Cap saves up those reverse skip metas, as we talk about in this league now with the new bot. Reverse skip meta has been lethal, to say the least. Continuing here, green skip into a green 8. Double play for Myth. Down to Yepes.
Yeah, giving himself a little bit of room in the room.
Yep. Cap still into the green. Myth's out, though, Vapor. Yes, sir?
Yeah, I was going to say, you got Captain breathing down his neck, looking for a, big offensive play there from Captain. Yeah, switching over to the yellow.
Huge, because he can't do anything. Cannot do anything. Cap looking for the finish now into Grim. This could be methodical right here. Toward his first hair, and that's toward his first hair. Look at that. Yeah,
It wasn't anything ever but a +4 from Captain.
Yeah, it's ironic, man. And Cap, that's a little flex right there, man, because Myth was at Uno on that KT Wild. He didn't use the power play. Good win there. But in this case here, do you think the colors just worked out similar to game one where, hey, you know what, throw a little +2 in there, play a little bit of that percentage Uno, and pretty much just check on his vulnerabilities? Because if you look at it, you let him run down all the way to that Uno, but you never panicked and you never flinched. That little +2 gave him basically a junker card or two, threw him off, and he was basically one color the rest of the game. And even if he tried to get the one color, you timed the colors to where he may have had the blue, but it was too late. Talk to me about the timing of the ammo and a little bit of understanding really the flow of the game. You've been doing a good job so far these first 2 games on the flow of timing and action cards. Man, you're down 2-0 here. Nothing new, right? You've been in this situation before, down 2-0. Heck, you've been down. Unfortunately, Vapor doesn't want to hear it, but you were down 4-2, right? Back in the old E8, and you took the win 5-4. This is nothing. It's nothing new to come back from, but game flow right now, Cap's had an edge. How do you try to get an edge? Because this is 2 games in a row you've made the break, and it cost you in the end. How do you readjust and recalibrate your settings to maybe let Cap try to make the break first and then catch him in the end like he did the first 2 games to you? Go ahead.
I think like having better form of control and like having better usage of the cards. I had some momentum going on earlier on, but not wanting to use my power play did cost me because I didn't want to use it this early. I want to use it in like more of a game deciding round than like round 2.
Well, Vapor, I don't even think that's a bad answer because we talk about the power play. You use it there, you're out rest of the series, and your opponent still has 1. Okay, maybe you get the 1-1. There's only been a couple guys in the league. I think right now the number 1 guy that's been using it early and getting away with it, from what I've seen in every game I've watched or I've looked back on tape, has been Lane Sanders. We'll get to that in a second. And to an extent, Yepez as well. He likes to use it early. But for Cap here, yeah, I felt this was quite similar to game. Once again, I had the right numbers, and Action Guard played a bit risky and saved that wild +4 when Myth had 2-3 cards. So that was Cap taking a little bit of risk. But your thoughts on Cap's answer right there, Vapor, on just Cap understanding the flow and Myth not trying to be too aggressive on the power play, saving it a little bit to maybe catch him a little bit later when it matters. Now he goes into his homestand. Go ahead.
Yeah, if I'm Myth that game, I'm not expecting Captain to have 5 or 6 reverse skips to get me down to like that equalizer there when it was 4-4. And then from that point there, just lined up for Captain. And I think Myth here going into his homestand really has to try to do what Captain's been doing. Play a little more aggressively than conservatively. And pick the right card starts, I think, is really important to get a little bit more of an advantage with strategy. Because that's what Captain did to you back in 14.
Let's go over my man, if he can. Let's go to Sean Heatcheck Guard. Heatcheck, welcome to the program, man. First commentary game here. I don't think you were in round 1 at all. Your thoughts on what you saw so far? Go ahead. I don't know if you're going to call, but if you want, feel free. Always open, man. You know that. I'll check the watch party on my phone. Hold on. Let me just check. All right, no worry, man. All right. Always want to get you because it's been a minute. But all right, well, we'll see. So far, it's been a good game for Captain. Understand the flow. Myth going to try to get this one back. As always, free board Myth. Game 3, my man. Big pivotal one. What you going to do to spice it up here? What we got?
All right, I'm going to go 7.
Yeah, the OG. That's the classic Myth, man. All right, 7 cards in. The classic OG. Let's see what happens. Half off special as we go into Bad Brad in game 3. Of course, tough loss for Brad. We'll see what he can do in T2. Of course, the theming is unnamed till we get a winner. And Myth already starts it off quick here into that M6 off the blue skip, his own card. Cap goes 1 down to JT, and now the pace is flowing. 7 cards here, Vapor, different than 14. You want to get those switches and try to steal momentum. It can go flip back in a second. Myth going to try to steal some thunder. But Cap goes back to the blue.
Professional play there.
Pro style. That's huge. Huge pro style. Even if he gets a draw here, as we said earlier, that's a win. He doesn't. He's got more in the tank. We talked about Lane Sanders. Lane definitely one of the few players, as we go back to yell, it's a 2-color strategy, to use the power play early and just say, you know what, screw it, get the lead. We'll see what he can do tomorrow. As Cap goes into a draw, and now Myth runs on the yell. It's 2-color for sure. No red and green just yet. Back to blue, continuing the 2-color war. Can Myth get 9? Oh my goodness. Nasty. That's nasty, Vapor. I got nothing on that one. How about
that's what I said before this game. I said Myth has to get onto your color and do what Captain's been doing to you. Get down, whittle enough, just enough down to the point where you can use your finish and then +4 finish right in the mouth.
Yeah, I got nothing. I mean, the only question I have for either one, well, actually, no, there's no question for him. He didn't have a red or green. Cap, did you have a red or green possibly built up? You could have stopped it because It's part of the deal, I think. It's 5-8. There's not much you can do. As a strategy Myth deployed, and he got the job done. I don't got much there. No sweep. I didn't expect no sweep here. It's too competitive for that. And we see Vapor now. That's a little momentum in Mitt's favor. Obviously, we know he won't be able to pick 7, but he's changed the game off that higher tier stuff. It gives him, I had 2 greens, but nothing I can do. Nada. Well, he was iced out then. That's the art of the 7 cards. Sometimes you hit it, sometimes you miss it, but either way, you fired your shot and you took a chance to steal momentum. That's what the game of Uno is becoming, especially with card star variety. You stole the momentum. Someone goes higher, you go lower. Let's roll the dice and see where it lands on the old table. And for Myth, he gets to strike once. Can he strike twice, though? We'll go back to Myth. Nothing to say. I got nothing here from the commentary booth. No questions, really. We'll go to game 4. Myth, no 7, my friend. OG's off. Everything else is free. What do we got?
I'm going to go for 6.
Oh, boy. Here we go. We're running it down. And once again, Vapor, we're sticking with this luck-based game. But these guys both know it. They know when to crescendo. We'll start it off with the creator himself in the yellow 7. Saw the yellow-blue battle in game number 3. Does it continue in game 4? Down 1 to Steven. We'll go up to the
I
old.
wouldn't expect anything less from 6 from Myth here. It's really what he's comfortable with.
Yep, double Steven to start off with. And now for Cap, as we continue to run into it, this game could crescendo at any moment as, Me6 must have changed his logo. Little eye patch with the ping of, I guess, for Valentine's Day. Here comes Cap now. Looking for a possible run.
Could be a little bit of ammo here. Boom.
Wow, that welcome to the Luck Wars, man. That's it. I mean that's what we said, and once again, that's 7-6-5-8. It's just part of it. Look at that, 46 seconds. Cap.
And
yeah, go for it.
And here, look what we said in the beginning of the stream. The captain won the game that went over 5 minutes. He won the game that went around 4:30. Those are games that you have to win if you want to win a series between these two players. Because you see these last 2 games, 110, 46 seconds. These games can go either way, but it's the games that go longer and more strategic that you really have to win. And Myth just was struggling to do that in game 1 and game 2. So we'll see what the response is here.
Well, I'm going to ask Myth one question, man. This is the second game in a row where we did not see a full color palette. We saw only the yellow, blue, and this time we only see the yellow and the greens here. Did you have any red or blue? Was it a case you just couldn't go over to it? And talk to me about just the battle of luck right now. It's how it is sometimes with these 6 and 7s, for sure.
Yeah, I had one of like every color. I had 1 red, 2 greens, 1 blue, but I couldn't get to use it. Since I was stuck on yellow and like the numbers weren't on my side.
Yeah, it's part of it, man. It's part of it. Cat, nothing to say. You probably yourself even probably saw that hand and said, "Oh, don't mind if I do." It happened in game 3 to me. I'll take that one. We're even now. Well, and Vapor, before we go into this game 5, you start to think momentum just switched back into Cap's favor. But there is one tidbit, as you said. Cap's been able to win a little bit slightly longer battles, and he has a win on that upper tier. Where do you think he goes here? Because with Cap, when he starts winning on that upper tier, we know he's dangerous on the low to mid tier. The sky's the limit. Thoughts on that? Oh, do you leave? Okay. Well, then I'll kind of take it, and I'll kind of play Vapor's role here. Basically, if I was in the shoes of Vapor, he probably would say, "Oh, well, KT, that's captain, though. You know a +4 finish is coming. Something's got to be at the end, and we go from there." Right? Anyway, that's my best Vapor impression. It's terrible. Anyway, let's keep it rolling. Let's go to game 5. Cap, everything's free, buddy, other than 6, 9, and 14. Your call, my man. Will we close it out at 5? Here we go. What do we got? Oh my God. 5 cards. The no send. That's just the way we like it down here. Wilderness came in. Power play open, by the way. In a turn or two. We saw this with Yoshi with 7. We'll go we'll go half off. Cap looking for 3. This could go quick, like I said. We just saw a game end in 46 seconds. Is it over here? That's it. I think that's it, boys. Captain wanted revenge for May, and he's one turn away from ending it right here. Split ammo, Chomik style. Does he light the candle? Cap, he might be one step away, and he might get that revenge, but he lights the candle today in less than 30 seconds. 43 seconds. There it is. I got nothing. I mean, Cap, you know, sometimes you play that luck game. When you're hot, you're hot. When you're not, you're not. 3 games in a row. Myth won the first one where it was a 2-color war. This time, you basically said, you know what? Give me the hand. Give me the rock. See you in the finish line. Talk to me about winning the series and getting revenge. I got nothing, man. That was Captain Uno. That's all I got. And for Myth, I wish I had a real question, man. But your thoughts on just trying to fight this battle of luck today? Because you can't really say it was, because you got one too. Was it a case of maybe you go a little higher, but you kind of accepted knowing that that's what the game plan was going to be? We knew it was going to be mainly 5-9. We saw that 114 card, but it was going to be 5-9. Cap got the win. Thoughts on that?
Maybe like trying to go a bit higher next time, but also like there was nothing I really could have done like game 4 and especially game 5 because I didn't even have a chance to play a card in game 5, so cards weren't on my side. I know game 2 I could have won had I used the power play, but besides that, I don't really have much to say.
Yeah, and I don't know what else you could have done. I mean, when you don't see every color being used, you can't really formulate a question. You really can't go beyond the limit there. I got nothing. Cap, your low tide experience is bad. Your thoughts on playing just, obviously that game was just whatever, but your thoughts on playing either Yoshi or Go. I think you did a good job. One thing though, I will say that it was promising from the fans here. You won on that 14. It's not usual Cap Uno. That's a big feather in your cap right there, wouldn't you think, Cap? As the Cap says that, we'll go over to the pod and he gets his thoughts. Remember, Cap, the 2C in this region, we saw the 1C JT. He's no longer here, right? He's no longer here, and Cap now runs the cards and runs the region as we go back into Cap. We'll see what he says. I was lucky today. Lady Luck was on my side. Maybe one game turned more skill, but the last 2 games were pure luck, and Cap, I couldn't have said it better myself. And we'll see what he says about Yoshi or Ghost. Obviously, Cap did play both in other leagues. I think he did play Ghost at one point last year. I'll have to check that. I don't know about Yoshi, but it'd be interesting for sure. And this region has been, like I said, rematch central. We'll see the other rematch on Saturday. It should be Sunday night. I know the graphics says Saturday night. That's okay. It should be Sunday. Sunday night, 8 o'clock. We'll see that rematch between Ghost and Yoshi coming up here. For Myth, a good win, right? A good win in round 1. We'll see where he shakes out in round 2. I got Vape per Vape. Unfortunately, man, I wish I could have given you more, but the last game ended in a Cap 43-second classic 5 cards. Your thoughts on the series today? Was heavily luck-based.
Just plan A the whole way through. Except really game 3, Myth had the cards, but Captain just really did what he had to do. And that's what it comes down to. You like to play 7-6-5.
Yeah, couldn't say it better myself. We'll see what Cap thinks if he plays either Ghost or Yoshi. Just waiting for his thoughts there. As I said, Cap's on to the semis, the old regional semis, also known as the Sweet 16. We start the best of 9s. Remember, it's major format though for 2025. We'll see the 2 power plays back in action for your 2 majors, T1 and 5. Looking forward to that as we bring back that major war. Looking forward to that as well with Ghost and Yoshi on Sunday night as we go back into the schedule real quick. And as I said earlier today, the other game would be way different than this one, I would assume. Of course, Chomik, we know the split ammo wars with him. Retro, Battle of the 8s, green and blue respectively. Retro trying to pull off the upset again. Cap, excuse me, Chomik trying to stay with it. Of course, Ashley still runs that region until she loses. She'll have a grand finale, I guess, of the round coming up with Allen. Most likely will be the finale as we only have one more game still waiting to be scheduled. So most likely we'll see that one after the round finale Thursday night. But we wait for Cap here. Really good game from him in terms of luck. We'll see what he says about Ghost or Yoshi. Want to thank Vapor here for commentating. Christian Tago, your thoughts on this game, man? Feel free. As Myth and Cap will drop their quotes if you want to say something. Unfortunately, it wasn't the best show, and just the luck came in there, and we'll see what happens tonight. Got our buddy Chama coming up back. We'll find out what he can do in retro. I don't got much to say. Still waiting for Cap, and I would like to face Ghost. I don't like to play against Ghost usually. I think it's been a really long time since the last time I faced Ghost. Yeah, it's been. Yeah, it was last year. It might have been T4 maybe. I don't know, but I don't remember. I have to look back in league history. I know you played Tapir last year. We'll see. Well, for all of us here at MRE UNO, that will do it for the day until we get to 8 o'clock, really. That's it. I'll be back at 8 o'clock. Got Brock on the call. Thanks to Vapor today for showing out. Should be a good one with WB. Cody Smart will be reffing that game. For Brad, Chris Tago as the ref, Luke, Cody Smart himself, Ard, Vapor, Upez. I'm KT. I want to congratulate the two players, Captain and Myth, but it was Captain getting that sweet, sweet revenge as he takes care of business on the hardwood where he didn't get it on the dance floor back in Masquerade May. So long, take care. We'll see you back here tonight around 7:45. Coverage begins with Chamic Retro in the Gryffindor region. Peace.